How do you experience other teachers nowadays? And is interaction and energetics with them different than those who are still seeking? Okay, so I get the sense that it's talking about trust of teachers and the energy in which they transmit. Yeah. And the older teachers, you feel like there was more transmission. Like, how far are we going back? Are we going back to the ones that we never saw on TV or anything, but only ever read in a book? Or are we just going back like to Nisargadatta Maharaj or Papaji or something? Um, so yeah. Um, Other teachers. Come on, Lisa, get inspired. Yeah, I really feel the urge to speak about other teachers so much. I think because one thing that I've realized that happens in cults and in speakers is there is an implication always that my teaching is more supreme than other teachers. And that often is an occurrence, which is wholly disappointing to me. Um, and I feel like when you really open your heart, everything is your teacher. And that includes false teachers. You know, the pebble on the road, the cars, the sunlight, the dog shit, the teachers that think they know what they're talking about and don't, the teachers that are transmitting but nobody listens to them because nobody sees it or gets it. The teachers that are halfway, you know, it's yeah. I mean, I sometimes feel that there is a big wave of teachers coming through that haven't had an energetic awakening. Um, so they've seen non-duality. So there's a recognition of it, but they haven't had an energetic shift. Um, but it doesn't freaking matter, you know? If your heart's truly open and committed to the subject, that's the most important thing. You know, it's not looking out and being like, oh, are they good enough? And oh, I need this teacher or that teacher. It's focusing on your heart, like, what is it I want here? And if it's freedom that you truly want, not I'm better than them or they're worse than me. If it's freedom you truly want, then that's what will happen. You know, if there's true investigation, then the cart follows the ox. Sorry, that's an old Buddhist saying. It never sounds wise when I say it, but when the Buddhists and the old books say it, it's like, and the cart follows the ox, and everyone's like, oh yeah. When I say it, never really works. But it's like, as soon as you start asking the who are you, truly, truly asking who are you, then freedom will entail. It's impossible for it not to. So I just wouldn't trust so much that line of thinking. Obviously, educate yourself on psychology so you don't end up getting yourself in abuse situations. But that's the same with the whole of freaking life, not just non-duality. So educate yourself on behavior, psychology, how to differentiate between someone being appropriate and not appropriate, when teachings are trustworthy and untrustworthy. But then it's like going in, and it doesn't matter what the teacher is or isn't. Who am I? What is experiencing now? It's often another defense of the mind. You know, this teacher's wrong, this teacher's abusing me. That's appropriate to think about in order to become well differentiated, well defined, you know, so a well defined, healthy human being characteristic. But, you know, for the mind to keep looking in that, it's often competition. You know, you watch teachers and you're in competition with them, so then it makes you feel insecure, so then the competition arises, and then that story is believed. So just keep coming back to you. If you feel from a differentiated point of view that person's not right for you and not resonating with you, then don't even look. Just go to the teachers where it does resonate, and boom, boom, boom. And if it was Papaji and the older teachers, then just listen to them. It doesn't freaking matter what everyone else is doing. You know, you find what resonates with your heart, you know, what gives you that sense of expansion. And all this other, like, they're not right. It's like, okay, that's important to define that they're not appropriate for you, but then leave it. Put it down. What's that old Buddhist story? I find the story so simplistically, stupidly, funnily great. So, yeah, there's two Buddhist monks, and they're on the side of the river, and there is a woman drowning, or on the other side of the other side of the river. I can't remember. We'll just give it drowning, just to give it a bit more voom. So there's this woman drowning. So one of the Buddhist monks goes in and takes her out of the water, and picks her up and puts her on the shore, and she's like, oh, thank you very much, thank you. And then as they're walking away, the Buddhist monk that didn't rescue the woman goes, I can't believe you did that. You know, you're not allowed to touch women. You're not allowed to talk to women. You know, that's part of your vows, are not to speak or help women. And he's like, I can't believe you picked her up. And then the other monk goes, I can't believe you're still holding on to her. Yeah, I think I might not have told that story correctly, but you get the picture. But it is sort of like very simplistic story, but I still might have modeled it around in my brain. But the point is that who cares? Like, really honestly ask yourself that. Who cares? What does, you know, who cares about all these teachers? And if there's ones that you feel like you do resonate with, go for it. Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, the flow did do that. I've been told the correct ending of that story. I put her down an hour ago. You're the one still carrying her. Sorry, I did mess up the ending. I remember when I used to go to Tony Parsons talks when I used to live in London. This is 20 years ago or something. He used to sometimes get the end of the joke muddled and would get it wrong. But it was so funny just because, yeah, it was just him, and it was just brilliant. So everyone would laugh as much anyway.